I'm Jake from the Boxing Podcast, and here's 10 boxers you should be on the lookout for in 2025. Number 10, we have Crystal Rosado Ortiz. Rosado Ortiz was my female prospect of the year for 2024, and I expect her to only improve in 2025. The Puerto Rican bantamweight is managed by the unified featherweight champion of the world, Amanda Serrano, and promoted by Jake Paul's Most Valuable Promotions. Rosado Ortiz made her debut in August 2023 and is currently 5-0 with 2 knockouts. She's ranked 12th in the WBA Super Flyweight rankings, and the 22-year-old has already shown she has very good footwork. This aids her in her ability to manage the distance before throwing flurries of punches, which have been shown to make her opponents think twice before throwing back. Bantamweight currently has some good quality champions in Shanika Johnson, Dina Forsland and Sharita Metcalf, and it might not be too long until Crystal Rosado Ortiz adds her name to that list. Number 9, Danielle Perro. The glamour division of boxing has always been the heavyweight division, and Cuba has always produced some of the best amateur boxers in the world. So what happens when you mix the two together? You get 6'5", 10-0 with 8 knockouts, Danielle Perro. Whilst Cuba's heavyweights haven't seen major success, with Luis Ortiz challenging but ultimately failing to capture a world title on 2 separate occasions against Deontay Wilder, and more recently Frank Sanchez losing to Ajit Caballel, Perro may be the man to go all the way and claim heavyweight gold. The Pan American Games 2019 gold medalist hasn't yet faced any major names in the heavyweight division, but with Perro's trainer Bob Santos making comparisons between the 25-year-old and the unified heavyweight champion of the world Alexander Usyk, it would seem that big things are expected of Danielle the Fear Perro. Number 8, Karis Artingstall. When both Karis Artingstall and Lauren Price signed with Benchlam's boxer after the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, where they both medalled for Team GB with bronze and gold respectively, their ceiling for the professional game was set very high indeed. Whilst Lauren would go on to become the unified welterweight champion of the world and is going to be taking on Natasha Jonas for all the marbles on March 7th, I can't help but feel that Karis has a lot more to offer in the paid ranks. I'm hoping that 2025 is the year we see Karis starting to push on and climb up the rankings of the sanctioning bodies. The featherweight boxer is currently ranked 7th by the WBA and 13th by the IBF. Having only had one fight in 2024, it would be a real shame if we don't see an active Karis Artingstall try and push for world or at least European honours in 2025. Her first step to achieving this is getting past a very tough Raven Chapman on the Price v Jonas undercard on March 7th. Number 7, Teramona Junior Teramona. He's so good, they named him twice. Matchroom's latest Australian signing comes in the form of 6'6" heavyweight Teramona Jr. The 26-year-old also has a factor that makes him quite unique within this list. He's a 2024 Paris Olympian. However, he turned pro in 2020. The Aussie was one of the few boxers that took on the challenge of trying to start their professional career whilst keeping at the top of the amateur game in preparation for the Paris Olympics. Whilst Teramona Jr. didn't medal in Paris, starting his professional career so early on has allowed him to gain a lot more experience than many of the other Paris 2024 Olympians. With a record of 6-0 with 6 knockouts, he's certainly someone to keep a lookout for in 2025. Number 6, Nathan Lugo. Lugo's amateur career saw him become national champion on an absolutely incredible 23 occasions. He would end his amateur career with a record of 223 wins, 19 losses, with 40 of those wins coming by way of knockout. With this kind of amateur success, you probably assume that Lugo spent quite a lot of his time in the amateur game, but you'd be wrong. He achieved all this by the age of just 19. Lugo would make his pro debut in April 2024 and would fight twice more in the year, amassing a record of 3-0, with, you guessed it, all 3 wins coming by way of knockout. One man would notice Lugo's talent and sign him up to a promotional deal. That man was Frank Warren, and with Warren's Queensberry Promotions moving to the global home of boxing DAZN in April of this year, Frank has been looking to add to his US roster, and Nathan Lugo may just be the man to break Frank into the US market with a bang. Number 5. George Lillard. Although the Billericay Bomber may not have had the same amateur success as some of the previous entries on this list, there's no reason why George Lillard can't be one of the next major stars in British boxing. At only 22 years of age, Lillard is already 11-0 with 6 knockouts. Yes, Lillard is still learning on the job, but with the British middleweight division housing such names as Denzel Bentley, Kieran Conway, Shaquille Thompson, and Tyler Denny, to name just 4, there's no reason why Lillard's name can't be mentioned with them if all goes well in 2025. Lillard last faced Derek Aziz for the Commonwealth Silver title, where he won by unanimous decision. So it'll be interesting to see just how much noise Lillard can make in a division with many fighters looking to do the same in 2025. Number 4. Kamel Monton. When you're managed by one of the greatest boxers of all time, most would probably feel the pressure. But for 18-year-old Kamel Monton, it seems to be the exact opposite. When your name is linked to Floyd Mayweather, you're going to have expectation on you from day one. Monton, however, would turn all this expectation into hype when he scored a first-round knockout over previously unbeaten Ezekiel Flores in his professional debut at only 17 years old. Since then, the Salt Lake City-born boxer has amassed a record of 7-0 with 6 knockouts. The lightweight is certainly touted to have a big future in the sport, and at only 18 years old, he has all the time in the world to get there. Number 3. Yanquiel Riviera. The smaller weight classes have always been the most overshadowed in boxing, but that doesn't mean they don't have any good and potentially even great fighters to look out for in 2025. Flyweight Yanquiel Riviera boxed 3 times last year, facing 2 previously unbeaten opponents and a 40-fight veteran, with 37 of those fights being wins. The Tokyo 2020 Olympian is currently ranked 2nd by the WBA, 3rd by the WBC, and 8th by the WBO. With only 7 fights to his name in the pro game, it's not exactly like he has bundles of experience. But what he lacks in experience, he certainly makes up for in skill and technique. A fast and effective combination puncher that certainly isn't afraid to let his hands go. In 2025, I think it's likely we see Riviera become a well-recognised name in the flyweight division and maybe see him even fight for world honours. Number 2. Moses Italma. There's not many fighters in the heavyweight division who've had a better 2024 than Moses Italma did. Italma would have a very active 2024, having 4 fights in the year. However, they would only go a combined 6 rounds. The Southpaw's power is definitely his best attribute, and this was best shown in his most recent fight against Australian Dempsey McKean. The 20-year-old would dispatch of McKean in just under 2 minutes on the Usyk vs Fury undercard. 2025 could be a massive year for the Slovakian-born heavyweight. He has such names as Justice Huni, Kubrat Pulev, Filip Hrgovic and Otto Wallin on his 2025 hit list. Italma will hope to become one of Britain's biggest names in boxing's heavyweight division this year, and with his power, speed and ring IQ, he certainly has the ability to do so. Number 1. Andy Cruz. It was hard to think of anyone else who warranted the top spot on this list than standout Cuban amateur star Andy Cruz. The 29-year-old is only 5 fights into his professional career and has already put the lightweight division on notice. The Tokyo gold medalist is ranked in the top 15 of all 4 of boxing's major governing bodies. It seems like a matter of when, not if, Andy Cruz will win a world title, and many believe 2025 could be the year. Cruz has transitioned into the professional game with ease, and in 2025 he will look to take on the major names in the lightweight division. Cruz's mix of combination punching and boxing intelligence is enough to give any name at 135 pounds a challenge. However, Cruz will certainly be wanting to do a lot more than challenge in just 2025. Thanks very much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, then please do feel free to like and subscribe. Your support certainly does not go unnoticed. Until next time, have a good one.